Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. Let me get back up here to the comments. Hey DC, Jay Grayson, Mark. Go ahead and get a few things set up here on my end of it. Come on. All right. Hey Tar Heel, Randy, Hadley, Michael. Let me go ahead and put the link up. Yeah, everybody's pinned. Everybody's in. Honeystone Farm. Hey Lee. Hope you're feeling better, Lee. Hey Matt. Ziggy. Well, I hope everybody has been not overly hot. It's been pretty nice here. Hey Rex, Christopher. Actually, the humidity here in Maryland was pretty decent here today. It was in the 60% range, 68, below 70, which feels better. It wasn't really too bad. I really would like to. Hey Hannah and Tim, and start doing some mite treatments, and we'll talk about that tonight. And talk about some pest controls, like in your honey house. Been thinking about that. Everybody has either a honey house or does it in their back porch, like I do. And there's always problems with ants and things like that while you're either extracting or while you're storing. Honeystone, you got 85% humidity, or that's pretty bad. And Hadley says nice in North Indiana. Yeah, it seems like down in that deep south there. Lee's went to the chiropractor 2 days in a row, going again tomorrow. The back and leg locked up. I know how that is. Hopefully he can fix you. I know I went for myself for 2 weeks straight, and it really, I don't know. Usually they fix me up, but this time around they didn't. Anybody wants to come in, come on in. We'll chat up a storm here tonight. So anyway, weather-wise, it's been pretty good. I would like to do some apricot, and I'm always concerned about either the temperature and the humidity. I think humidity plays a big part in the fumigates. Ziggy's saying we hit 115% humidity yesterday. Today is thunderstorms and cooler. Yeah, we had actually some storms last night around 3 o'clock this morning. That seemed to cool things down quite a bit. And did I miss Lisa? Yeah, there is. Hi, Lisa. And so I found out with Formic Pro that it can be, I like it 80 degrees, really like it 79 or better, but low humidity. That seems to be the trigger for problems when you're having in your hive. I know one of the local new beekeepers, she put in some apricot. I don't know whether it was a nuke or whether it was a 10 frame. And she says she lost her queen. And like one of the persons on Facebook stated that, that it'll shut the queen down. And I know that for sure. My question was, and I've helped this lady out occasionally. And I'm like, why did you put it in when it was 90 degrees or close to it and high humidity? Of course, the packaging never does say anything about humidity, but I think it, like I say, plays a big part and all that. Um, so that's where I'm at. Tastes pretty good. There's Mr. Bob.
Hey, I'm you know, late as
That's all
usual.
right. That's all right. We've talked a little earlier. You've had some issues of being super tired. Have you been to the doctor or anything about that? Or
No, I've been to work, been there. And my mom is with my sister up in Pennsylvania for a few days, so get a couple 4-day break here.
Pennsylvania?
So, huh?
Pennsylvania, you say?
Yeah, I don't even know where she went up there. I know they're going to Gettysburg, but they're up there visiting a friend.
Well, that's only about an hour from my house.
See, I should have went. I could have just kicked it with Charlie all weekend.
Yeah. Now I was talking about thinking about doing some mite treatments here, but and trying to judge the weather and it's like right now it's 80 degrees. It was low humidity today. We had a little bit of a storm last night, or actually this morning about 3 in the morning, which kind of blew out all that humidity. We were in the 60% range. Once you get below 70, it feels pretty decent.
Well, it was
So,
supposed to rain today, but it never did. Well, now
right.
it's saying heavy rain soon, so I don't know. They can't make up their mind for me what they're going to do.
My son, he went and cut some hay today. So hopefully the next 3 days or so, we can get the hay in, or he can get the hay in. I really don't want to fool with it.
James sent
But
me a text message today.
who did?
James,
Oh, yeah. How's he doing?
I guess he's feeling better because the message he gave me was set up the extractor and test run last night, 2 hours, and put 240 pounds into pails last night.
Hmm.
So his first run now, he's got the smaller extractor, so it's going to take him a
Yeah.
bit.
Was it at 12 frame?
12 frame.
I wonder how long he spins 12 frames.
I bet you this next year he'll have it.
60
But
frame.
we know James. James isn't breaking the rules he set for himself, regardless of what it is. He's not. It's kind of like a challenge to him, right? So he said, "I'm only going to spend this much out of my pocket, and that's it. And we're going to make it go." And he only does the same things we do. Let the bees pay for his stuff. So I think right now he's gotten to the point to where he feels comfortable with what he spent and not going to spend any more this season, I don't think. And if he does, it'll probably be like boxes or, who knows.
Hey,
Where's
Tim.
Tim?
Evening, gentlemen. How are y'all?
How's it going?
Good.
We tired, folks. We tired, to be honest with you.
Me too. I mowed my ditch today, the one that keeps getting backed up with trash. So I went ahead and mowed it down and rode my riding lawnmower down the dirt driveway to knock any high spots down on that. Got stung on the back of the head on the riding lawnmower. They didn't
the county
like that.
won't come clean that thing out for you?
They're supposed to. They're supposed to, but they don't. So I don't know what they're doing. They're spending all their money getting all the stuff improved for the subdivisions, the big rich houses down the road that are coming in. So,
well, they got to take care of them people too, I reckon.
You been doing anything in your bees, Tim?
No, y'all, to be honest with you, with Hannah still being under the weather, we ain't been able to take and do much at all. I was only able to work 2 days this week and kind of took the rest of the week off to catch up around here a little bit.
Recuperate.
So you say Hannah's down under the weather or what?
Yeah, she been having trouble with her belly, and she ain't been able to. So we're going on 2 weeks now, and these whole 2 weeks, y'all, she probably ain't been able to eat a whole plate of food put together. And
Have they been to the doctors to kind of check out what's going on?
well, we went to the ER a week and a half ago, and we ended up having to go to the ER. Well, it was Tuesday night whenever Bob and Lee was doing their live. We was back down there at the ER again. She got to hurting so bad, and they thought they knew what was going on, and we ended up having to go to a GI specialist. We just got home probably about 30 minutes ago, and the GI specialist, he thinks he knows what the issue is, so she's got to go. If y'all don't mind, keep her in the prayers. Come Monday evening, they got to go down, and they're going to do a scope down her throat to see if it's a hernia, or if it's if they may have to open her esophagus up with that balloon a little bit more. Hoping that's all they got to do.
She hasn't took no stings or nothing, has she?
No, she ain't been outside enough to hardly to take and do anything.
Yeah, so there's some type of blockage of some sort there then.
Yeah, I think so, because she can get broth, that type thing down, but like just something simple as some chicken noodle soup, she can get that broth down, but if she tries to eat the noodle or the little bit of chicken that's in there, whenever it gets down almost to her stomach, I mean, she's doubled over in pain. So the GI,
gallbladder.
now they did CTs and all that good job down there.
Now, Lisa says she needs to be checked for H.
H. pylori.
What, I don't understand what that is. That is.
I can tell you all about H. pylori. H. pylori is a stomach bacteria. So we used to do H. pylori tests at my lab. So basically, you inhale, or you actually like blow a balloon up, and then you send the balloon in, and then we send the balloon to the lab, and they get the bacteria test.
Now, they didn't tell us all this in the ER, but the GI doctor went through all the paperwork and everything a while ago with us, and he said there was some kind of infection in the urine that they thinking is kind of more along the lines of what he described as some type of UTI, but they got her some antibiotics on board now, which we just got, like I said, got home and get started on that. So hopefully that'll take care of whatever infection is in there. But the doctor's saying that since she hasn't eaten anything in the last 2 weeks, basically, that we got to get her calories and her protein up.
She ain't but a little bitty thing anyway. She need to put some weight on that girl.
I know she ain't big as a minute. Like I say, not eating, she's lost probably she's probably lost about 10 pounds in this last 2 weeks. But now let me tell you, I had a good Lord work. Now we was worried because the doctor said it's going to be about 2-3 weeks before we can get her in and get that scope done. But they told us when we left out, go to the lobby and we'll set everything up. And y'all, that 2 or 3 weeks was nullified. The lady said, "Can y'all be here Monday at 1 o'clock? Let them do that stuff."
That's
Said,
nice.
"Yes, sir, we can be here at 1 o'clock Monday, and y'all can do whatever you need." So, and they said, "Don't worry about charging anything like that. We'll just bill you for everything. Y'all just show up." So we can do that.
That's a blessing. Probably while you walked into the lobby, somebody had just called and canceled their appointment for Monday. And you're like, yes, sir, we'll take it right here.
Well, you know, I think I mean, haven't been eating for 2 weeks. To me, that's sort of well, not, I won't say emergency, but it needs to be. It's a pressing emergency. It needs to be looked at.
I could probably not eat for about 3 weeks, and my genes would love it.
The doctor, that GI doctor, he said, I guess put on their ASAP or stat, and I guess that's what kind of moved it along a little bit quicker.
She doesn't double over in pain as far as just without eating, right?
No, she can drink, like say she can take down some broth and drink a little bit of water, that type thing. And she can't drink a mouthful and swallow, but she can get sips down real good without it bothering her too bad. But it's anything that's solid food of any kind of sort, even chewing it up or pureeing it, it's real painful for her, she says. But she's gonna pop on here in a minute. She's out there doing all that paperwork stuff over the phone, getting all that set up. But she at least want to come in and say, hey.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking a lot of different things. I mean, sometimes there's the sphincter that's right above the stomach, and it closes and doesn't want to open up to let the food go into the stomach. And I don't know whether that would be but it doesn't say, that's where you just keep throwing it back up type of thing. But, and all that. But anyway, hopefully they'll, definitely figure this stuff out. You're what, right above Mobile? Is it?
Yeah, we just outside of Mobile, probably about 25 miles north of Mobile.
Yeah, but they're talking about maybe using some protein shakes or something like that. Something's tied.
But I'm not laughing at you on that, but the doctor told us, said, well, stop and get you some of these, clear insure, because she can't, milk and lactose don't sit well with her either. So we couldn't find any of these clear insure. So we was like, well, we'll get some of these protein, like the whey powder or whatever you call it, whey powder. And we got the high stuff with protein and calories, and we got her some kind of drink to mix it with. And it's like, well, maybe
that's the nastiest crap I ever put in my mouth. Told him, I was like, you think it's funny? How about you drink some of this stuff?
Yeah, those powders are not fun.
Oh, it was horrible.
Even Insurers, I don't think is all that great.
Insure?
I was willing to try anything at this point.
You should have just said you just drink Nestle Quick.
If I could do milk, I would.
That's what they got: almond, soy milk, almond milk, coconut milk.
Have you tried that stuff?
Well, ain't none of them got udders on them, so I just figured that it was. I always substitute coconut water, almond water.
Now, I can do the water fine, but the milk was bad. It was really bad.
How's things going up y'all's way in the bee world?
Just hot. I haven't fed the bees in 2 days. That's kind of what I do. Is I only feed them a couple days a week, and that way they eat anything that they haven't had packed away, and that way it puts all the haters away that are like, you're feeding and you got boxes on. Yeah, I'm feeding mostly water, but giving them a little something. Let me see. Charlie, how the wax melter working today?
Oh, it's working great. I pretty much got all my wax melted. The only thing that I did have was, you know, how the bees will try to get in there because they smell all that honey in the water.
Mhm.
And I got some bees that are in the wax. So I'm going to have to kind of
Now it's officially beeswax.
yeah. I got to
It was just wax
remelt
before. Now it's
but
beeswax.
the main thing is that the one piece of paper towel that definitely works when it comes to filtration.
Oh yeah.
It was nice and yellow, and like I say, the bees got down inside the box while there was cooking and got into the wax. So I got to remelt it to get those bee carcasses out of there. But as far as the slum gum and all that stuff, it actually worked out really well because you had the hardware cloth, and then I laid the paper on top of that towel. So when it was all done, it was still, you know, I went in there while it was still warm after they had everything had melted. Then you could lift up the 1/8 inch or the 1/4 inch hardware cloth. The paper kind of held everything together, and you could take that whole wad of gummy goo garbage out of there and then just turn it over. And because the paper was next to the screen, it just fell off onto the ground. So it cleaned itself a lot easier too. It didn't get stuck into the mesh. And then the outer parts where that mesh wasn't, I just took the Hive tool and scraped it out and give it a chuck. So I know that I forget who I was talking to. Somebody had a wax melter like yours, Bob. I think it was from a license.
Mm-hmm.
The way I got it is they didn't prop it up on an angle, a little bit more of a steeper angle to make it work better. Does it have legs on it to prop it up to a certain angle or not?
No, I usually just put a board or something on it and tilt it underneath it and raise it up a little bit.
Yeah, Lisa. I didn't build it. There was a guy in the bee club that were building them, and I looked at it and I said, "That's a nice looking melter," you know. And I wasn't really sold on wax melters, and so I went ahead
You don't
and
listen to his friends.
yeah. So anyway, I went ahead and bought it from him, and I took it out there and I said, "Okay, let's see what this thing does." And I was really surprised. You know, you could put your wax in there in the morning and that afternoon, it's done. It's down in the water bath and everything and all that.
Had someone interested in buying 60 pounds of honey.
So some of this southern heat we sending up there to y'all, it shouldn't be no problem melting that stuff.
Mm-mm. That stuff, that wax melts quick. Real quick.
Yeah, I was quite surprised when I first got that thing. And then let's see, Lynn wants to know, how does Mr. Ed get the cappings out of his honey? Well, he has a capping spinner, a machine that slings the honey out and keeps the capping in the tub. You know, something we haven't got.
See, I just hit him back. Look, it says, "I'm interested in buying honey. What variety of honeys do you sell? And can I buy 5 gallons, about 60 pounds?" And I said, "I have wildflower honey, and I usually get $10 a pound for my honey." And when he says, "But if I buy it at 60 pounds, will I get a discount?" Nope. Nope. You will not, sir. So
well, due to inflation, now
I usually get 60 or $10 a pound, but this year, because of inflation, it's $12 a pound. And if you want 60 pounds, that means it's $15 a pound because you're going to be a pain in my butt.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they even answer back. He probably sent that same message to 30 beekeepers, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, like Lynn, they were talking here on the sidebar. Yeah, you can put your honey in a bottle, or not a bottling tank, but in a tank, and then let the wax rise to the top. That seems to be the more quicker way of doing things.
The only
Don't you
thing I
let it?
don't like about that method is when you put that plastic on top, are you not losing honey when you peel it off? Is there not that much honey stuck to that cellophane? Or are you talking about just scooping the cap and letting them drain through a strainer again?
I think there's, like anything that you process, there's a certain amount that you sort of lose.
Yeah, every single thing that touches that honey, you lose a little bit of your honey. A spoon, even no matter how long you let it drain, there's still going to be honey on there, right? Or everything.
Right. That's right. So something I wanted to talk about tonight, we all have like areas where we're extracting, and then we have the places where we keep our honey in, either in 5-gallon buckets or a bottling tank and stuff like that. And we got a pest control guy here. Is that ants? It's like, all right, where I put it on the back porch, I put rosin paper down to catch any drippings. And yes, you'll get ants on the floor. I usually take some ant spray and spray on the floor to kill them, to keep them down. And so what do you do? I know that, what is it? You can kill the ants, but they'll go back, they'll send out more to find the honey or whatever it is, or the food.
From what I gather, ants do pretty much the same thing as other animals, like rodents. They drag their bellies, right, to leave a scent. Mm-hmm. Ants do the same thing. As they walk, they're leaving a trail, a scent behind them. That's why you always see ants in a straight line going to things. But I haven't done anything for ants. Knock on wood, I haven't had that issue yet, because I usually don't leave stuff unbottled, right? But this year, I do have about 15 gallons in my bottling tank sitting there just in case. And then as I sell out of a certain item, I know, well, I need more pints, so I'll fill pints, or I need more 1-pounders, I'll fill that, or quarts, whatever the case might be, and do it like that. But I don't put anything on the floor in the honey house. I don't put anything on the floor inside the house for it.
As far as, you mean spray or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, do I have a pest control service? No, I don't pay for one, but my house has been treated. I'll say that. It's been treated. And, I was talking to Morgan there today, as far as like pesticides and things of that nature, around, not only around the bees, but when you're spraying, if you're spraying around your honey and it's aerosol, you've got droplets that could get in your honey, right, if it's not covered.
Right.
So I've got these, you see them on the side of my house in the summertime, those vines that crawl up the side of your house. And every fall I rip them back down again. And I haven't sprayed anything, but I think I'm going to wait till the winter. And I think I'm going to round up that whole bed when the bees are kind of less active, and round up try to kill it. And I don't know if it will. It probably won't kill it, but I'm going to try. Every year it just grows all up the side of the house.
Yeah, I was just, I had, like I say, when I was doing honey, they would get on the floor, because they got droplets of honey, until I, when I'm done extracting, that's when I, clean all that stuff up, put it in the trash bag, all those things. And I was looking, Mark says
he puts granules around you can granule around it. Some of the granules you actually spread and then water in, and it seeps down in the ground and kills them. Puts a barrier up there. That's what I spread around my colonies. That also kills kills mites and grubs and beetles and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, and I had some people up here that were complaining about beetles and stuff, and I told them, but what is it? Grub X they put down on the ground underneath the
I think that's
hives.
what Lee said he was using. I'll be right back. I'm gonna run to the restroom.
Hey, Phil. But so anyway, I was just wondering. I mean, I had some issues here today where the bees were trying to get into my bottling tank and stuff like that, which I, took a sponge and wiped the outside down, made sure it was clean and any, got any ants and stuff like that. I put a little bit of like Lysol on my sponge and just kind of, do the outside of it, but I'm really, honey's a food product. You want to be really careful about that kind of stuff.
I don't know how well it'll work, Charlie, on ants. Just maybe kind of something to Google and look at, but now keep them old palmetto roaches and things like that out of your house. And we learned this kind of just by accident, but we had taken boric acid, but instead of just dropping the powder on the floor or something like that,
right,
we had mixed it in with some grape jelly, and we mixed it up. It'll turn almost pink looking. But we was taking like little two pieces of cardboard and mixing that boric acid in with that grape jelly. It took care of them palmettos and everything else around. I mean, it took a few days, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a quick fix overnight, but we seen huge results after leaving it.
What they do is they take that back to the colony, I guess you would say, and they feed it, and it kills the colony. That's what I understand. But I don't know. That's the thing I had. It didn't really have black ants that I seen today. They were like really, I don't know whether they were like baby ants. You're muted there, Bob.
The little tiny ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
We call them sugar ants or piss ants is what.
Yeah.
Right? Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
You're right.
They're like really super tiny.
Just get you some gel bait. Not jail bait, Charlie. Don't be going after no young women's. Gel bait, GEL, gel bait, not jail bait.
Gel bait?
Gel bait, yep. And just put that around your doorways or wherever you see the ants coming from, and they'll eat that bait, and that'll kill them.
Yeah, I had some ants where they were more like on the black ant side. They're pretty good size. And them little things that got the oil in them, they work quite well too.
Keith went down to the local feed and garden, and they had a pint of honey for $12. At a store, that's about right. At your yard, it's not about right. If they drive to your yard, it's a guaranteed sale, $3 premium, at least $15. At least that's my opinion.
Now, Lee talking about them. Go ahead, Joe.
You're talking about that honey there, but did they look on the backside? Where did it come from?
Well, they got some people down that way. I saw people had pints for $10 on Facebook Marketplace here locally, and I'm thinking they're not doing the bee math, right? Because it says that's a 16-ounce jar, which it is, but it's not a 16-ounce honey weight jar. It's a 16-ounce fluid ounce jar. So they probably have their math off. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm not going to be that guy that's like, this is too cheap, right? And I hope they sell it out. Sell it all. By God, sell it all right now. Every bit of it. It'd be fine with me. Because next month will be the month.
Charlie Lee talking about them bay leaves. Now, if you get you some good fresh bay leaves, that works real good too, as far as just setting them out.
I noticed that too. I can go when I'm treating somebody's house, they'll have roaches in every cabinet when they're real bad, except for the one that's got their spices in it for some reason. The spice ones typically don't have any bugs in it. So, and most southern kitchens have bay leaves in them. I mean, every roast you cook has a bay leaf in it. How do I know? Because it always ends up in my damn plate when I'm eating it. I always get that bay leaf.
Yeah, Diane. Yeah, I think you're right on that. It's taro traps. You kind of cut the little end off, and the black ants will kind of crawl up inside there and get drowned, and take some of that fluid back to the hive and kill everybody back there too.
I had everything in my yard. I'm surprised I haven't seen any snakes this year, but no, I saw one snake this year. That's a lie. But I haven't seen. I see lizards, frogs, which I don't have any ponds around, but we got frogs for some reason. And maybe they like my swimming pool outside the little duck pool. But we got a little bit of everything around here. Woods, you're going to have palmetto bugs. That's just the way it is down here. Or as y'all call them, the cockroaches, the big ones.
I hate them.
Where's Philip?
We don't have them, luckily. There's Phil. Back in sunny, hot Texas, right?
Oh man, yeah, it's hot. Tomorrow
we're going to move to Tennessee.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a cold front though. The high's like 92 tomorrow.
Oh yeah, your AC might be able to keep it about 75 inside.
You know what kind of gets me is I was watching the news here, and they were talking about somebody died because of heat, and I think it was like Death Valley or someplace like that, hiking, and it's like 115 degrees, and I'm like,
hey, that's God equalizing the gene pool right there. He's equalizing the colony right there. If you're dumb enough to go out when it's 117 and go through the desert.
Yeah, I don't.
No procreation for you, sir. You got to go.
Yeah, that just to me, it's like, think a little bit, people. I
don't know. Come 1 o'clock, it's time to roll up and head to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that I had some cousin that lived in, I think it was Arizona, and my let's see, what was it? My brother, my mother, and all them went after. This is years ago, and what they found is the workers out there, they got up really early in the morning, right at daybreak, and they worked till about 10 o'clock, something like that, maybe 11 at the latest, and then quit. And then they worked that evening as the sun was, lower in the sky in the afternoon. He was 75 years old.
Well, that's why it's not rocket scientry. When you get up, if you get up early and go to the gas station around 6:30 in the morning, maybe earlier than that if they're open, you'll see all the construction people coming in and all the people that work outside. They're coming in to the gas stations, get their stuff for the day, get their fuel, get ready to get out there, because they're not trying to stay out there in that heat all day long either. They get it done while it's still, here it's still 85 degrees, even when the sun's down. But, they've learned that lesson the hard way, probably. You got some cut combs?
Yeah. See if I can.
That's some good looking cut comb right there.
It's some pretty stuff.
You got one of those Pierce cutters, or what do you got?
No, I just use a little pattern, a little piece of plywood. It's 3 by.
And it's got lines on it. You just cut on the lines?
No, it's in here. I'll show it to you. Hang on.
Hey, that just gave me an idea right there. I could use my laser and burn a grid pattern on it. So, 2 inches. You cut in a 2-inch slice, you just cut it right on the line. 4-inch on the lines.
I use that
piece of wood,
little piece of 5 mil Luan. Just use it as a straight edge.
I gotcha. Looks like it came out really nice.
Yeah, most of them did. They're not all perfect, but some of them are real nice. Some of them were dark. Some of mine were dark though. I couldn't see that dark honey on the bottom. I don't think that'll sell as good as the real light stuff. Some of it was thick, some of it was thin. That's why
You
I'm
just
saying.
wait to the fall and you tell them that's your fall honey, and fall honey's darker than spring honey.
You know what's strange is I started that little bee yard in Louisville, and I didn't think I was going to get anything out of it. But when I got there Tuesday, I was just checking on it, and I hadn't been there in like 3 weeks. So when I was checking on everything, one of them had a fat, drawn out comb of honey. Only one, and then there's like maybe a half a comb in the other parts of it. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna take that home and harvest it just to see what it tastes like. But let me show you what it looked like. I'll get the bottle.
Yep, I can hear the thunder outside already.
And I got 5 pounds off of basically one frame because it was so fat. But look how dark it is. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, wow.
Goldenrod?
How can it be goldenrod now?
Oh, you just pulled that honey.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is, I just pulled it. What I'm thinking is they robbed another colony out. That's all I can imagine. They had to have. It had some old honey in it. It tastes like fall honey, real dark, real rich and dark, deep tasting. So
Yeah, Russell wants to know how big your cuts are. 3 inches or 4-inch squares?
they're 3-inch, 3 by 3, 9 square inches.
And then Lynn wants to know how much do you sell it for?
I'm going to sell it for $25 a pound, whatever that comes out to. We'll
So
see.
you're going to weigh each section and put a price on it according to the weight?
Yes.
The honey cabinet.
Yeah, let me see if I can show you a little closer picture. You'll see. See, it's got
Really
weight,
could make you big.
weight, an ounce, and then the dollar amount right there for me to fill in with a pen.
Where'd you get that tape from?
That's a label I got from onlinelabels.com. It's supposed to be frosted clear.
Looks like Scotch tape with printing on it.
You know what? It does. And I think it would probably look better if I just gone with white, like a glossy white. But, oh well, it's done now.
Hey, it works.
10
Use it
sheets,
till it's gone.
10 sheets cost me $20. So 10 times, that's 100 labels. But I only need 24 because that's all I have.
So you got about 5 years worth of cut comb honey labels.
Yeah.
That's how mine works.
I'm with you. It looks like a piece of tape. I'm not really happy with the way it looks. But it's all right. I could have saved a few dollars by going with white, just white, which would have looked nice too.
You way out there in Texas, Philip, and Hope Sadler sent us some of their spring honey the other day. And y'all, it's just a dark. And they in South Carolina.
Wow. Yeah, I don't.
Mine's lighter than that one.
I did pull. I don't know if you guys saw. I did a little short on it, but I did pull my last honey here at my house, and I was only hoping to get 40 pounds, so I would get to my 700. I've been telling people I got, and I'm reasonably sure I got there, but I ended up getting 120 pounds. A good bit of that was not a good bit of it, but some of that was darker. So in the mix, it's going to come out a little darker than what my early stuff, which I think that's pretty normal when you pull it late. But
so now you're what, at 800 pounds?
I'm at 780. I'm through at 780.
That's still a
Lynn
good
wants to know how much does those cut, and what's the average weight on them? Have you weighed them any?
They're averaging about 7 ounces. Some of them will go 9. Some of them go a little over half a pound. Like this one right here is like real fat.
Is the
Now, where'd you get those containers? Are they cut comb containers or?
They're
something?
just. I got them at. What's the place I order my honey jars?
Berlin packaging?
Yeah, Berlin Packaging. And main reason I looked for them there was my honey bottles that I like so much. They don't. You have to either order 300. You order 300 pounds to get $300 worth to get free shipping. But if your order exceeds 150 pounds, they won't ship it for free. So what happens is my bottles get to more than 150 pounds before I get the $300. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So what I ended up having to do was add a bunch of plastic stuff in there to get the money up. And this was one of the things. I wish I'd gotten more of these because I also got some 1 pound plastic honey jars, which I really don't want to use. I'm probably going to try to resell them, but they're not a good deal. They're like $1.50 each at Berlin. They're not a good deal. But I got like 30 of those just to get to 300 because the shipping was going to be 300 on top of 300, and there's no way I was going to do that.
Matt
ever
says it
wonder
looks
why,
kind of like tulip popper, maybe.
You ever wonder why people on Facebook advertise their honey for sale and beekeeping supplies? And they're like by the pound? Because to me, it's like preaching to the choir, right? You're selling honey to people that make honey. You're trying to.
Yeah, I've been to some local conferences where you'll have people there trying to sell honey, and I'm like, huh? You know, it's like, I'm not going to buy your honey. I got my own honey, you know. That don't make sense.
But I see it time and time again.
Now, about the only way I'd buy some honey is if, say, buy some from Charlie way up there in the North Country, or one of y'all two, not somebody local, that's for sure.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I watched Bob Benny that last video. He was talking about sourwood honey, and I had bought some down south, down there because I wanted to see what everybody was talking about. But now I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I bought a bottle that was just labeled sourwood. Was it? I had to have somebody like him that would say this is real sourwood in order to really know what it really tastes like.
Is that the one that folks say that ain't too terribly good?
No, that's the one they say is awesome. Sourwood.
Yeah.
See, that's why I think the labels would look better as white, because that's before you peel them off. It's a lot more contrast. So, learn from my mistakes. If you order something like this, just go with, because it doesn't. I was worried I was covering up the comb, but you could see around a white label pretty easy there.
Yeah.
Not covering up much. And I wanted something that went down on the side so it looked like a sanitary seal on the package.
I like the way those hog half comb cases are with the where the band goes around both corners of it. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I like that too.
Those look pretty nice.
Yeah, these things have a lot of profile changes here around the edge, so it's hard to get a label to follow that.
It's because all the Chinese stores use them for ramen soup.
I don't know what
Their egg foo young soup.
But these were only about 50 cents a piece. I was really surprised at how affordable they were. That's cheaper than any of the stuff that's made for cut comb on the bee supply store.
Oh, anything at the bee supply store is marked up for sure. So I talked to Andrew at Apis Biologics about, I heard Greg Burns say that Super DFM is going to have Apis in it. And the clarification that I got was the Super DFM fondant for the winter will have Apis in it. But they don't sell the regular product in like their mix. Their Super
Hey, Nancy.
mix.
No, I didn't hear that. I watched a little bit of that advertisement, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, he added Hive Butler and Super DFM, and I'm probably missing something else that he added on there.
He's probably got Hive Alive, I guess.
And Hive Live, and he's been going to Shibu to learn how to artificially inseminate. So he said next year he would have breeder queens. But okay, so the whole breeder queen topic, I know there's a lot of, we like talking about queens and queen rearing, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. So breeder queens, I've always assumed were a purebred queen with that you're breeding off of, right? It's like a F1. So if you don't have a breeder that is a pure genetic or bloodline, we'll say that, then what's the point of artificially inseminating if you're using, if I went out and grabbed one of my queens out here and used her to artificially inseminate, then it's really just as same as if I would have let her just open mate, because she's good. I'm going to be getting drones from my yard with bees from my yard, from queen from my yard, right? So at that point, unless you're doing some other kind of genetic deal, what's the point?
Well, I do know that
if you're buying them from like Corey Stevens or someone like that that's got a breeder stock that he uses for doing his queens, that makes sense because that's like a pure line, right? But if I go out to my yard and breed out of my yard, or James bought a breeder queen, right, and he's using that, that's a little bit different.
well, breeder queen has, like you say, it's a pure line. It has certain genetic traits about it that you're trying to embellish, I guess you would say. And the only way you can get that breeder queen inseminate is through artificial insemination to get.
Well, you are guaranteeing you're getting a good number of matings, I guess, that she's well mated. But,
well, what they do is the guy up in what is his name? New River Honeybees. He does artificial insemination, and he'll go out there with a drone cage that he's 3D printed, and he will collect drones from other, collect drones from that certain hive that has, the semen in there, and then he will collect that semen, and then he puts it in what's the stuff that's real cold?
CO2 or the liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen tank. He puts them in little straws, and then he has a thing, he goes down in the liquid nitrogen tank and all that kind of thing. And then he'll use that stuff. He was talking about it here several months ago where he was artificially inseminating one of his breeder queens, and it worked, and it was from semen a year or so or older. That was.
Well, yeah, I see what Chris said there about drones from other breeding stock from other states, but has anybody ever heard of somebody ordering drones from somebody?
Mm-mm.
Me neither. So, I mean, that's kind of the thing is, so, I mean, I understand the whole process, but to me, the process isn't a whole lot. I mean, I guess it is different because you're not waiting on a mating flight, right? You're just knocking her out, knocking her up, and then putting her back in a colony. But I was just thinking, if you have a special queen that you've ordered in to do that with, I could understand. But if you're just grabbing one of the queens out of your yard, then it's, other than maybe speed. And from what I'm told is that the speed that you can only do like 5 or 6 a day, queens a day, artificially inseminating because of the process. And I don't know that to be the case because like I said, I haven't done it, but I was just wondering, other than the 5 days for her to fly out and get mated and come back, or a week, what's the real overall in-game specialty about it, other than saying, hey, I've got this breeder queen, I don't know.
Right.
I'll sell you some drones. That's funny.
Hey,
I don't have many drones right now. There's nothing happening, no flow, nothing like that. So
Now, the only way I guess I could figure justifying anything like that, which I'll just speak for us. I have no idea what the genetics are out there, except for probably just Italian mutts kind of thing.
They straight up nuts. We ain't got a clue what they are.
But
Not at all.
say like for us, it's been a terrible year for anything honey, getting queens well mated along those lines. But like our goal was to get more colonies by doing splits this year. Well,
Right.
it just didn't work out as such. So we haven't stepped into the business of we want thoroughbred bees yet. You know, we just piddling
It's
in
just
some
fun.
beekeeping for us. But if we knew the year was going to be the year it has been, then maybe if we knew how to practice the artificial insemination, then maybe I would try to take and do something like that. So I know my queens will get well mated versus, I guess, buying a breeder stock and trying to get a good bloodline.
Right. I don't know. It seems like to me that, you listen to Cayman and other ones, and they choose the hive that seems to do the best for them. They might have good temperament. They lay up a lot of brood, and maybe they pack in a lot of honey on average. And people like Kane will say, okay, I want to breed from that, graft out of those hives that have that kind of traits that they're always looking for. And hey, honeybee pound.
Well, my thing is it's been my experience that from what I hear people talk about is that these artificially inseminated queens cost a lot more, right?
Oh yeah.
So I guess I don't know, and I'm thinking of like how Greg Burns has prided his bees on being Appalachian mutts. That's what he calls them, right? So, which is fine. I've got South Carolina mutts. We all have that, right? So my thing is, what is the benefit of paying more for a breeder queen or an F1 queen out of an Appalachian mutt stock, other than traits that, like Larry was saying, they're gentle, not swarmy, stuff like that. I understand that. But why would I pay, I don't know, what's a F1 queen going for? A couple $100 maybe?
They could be a F1 brooder queen could be $1,500.
Okay,
I'll wait till next year, Jack. I ain't finna pay that for no queen.
and that is my point right there. Exactly. That's how I feel, right? It's like I could buy $30 queens and buy 40 of them. You know what I mean? For the same prices that I'm paying for a breeder queen.
Yeah.
So
I think when you're talking breeder queens, when your beekeeping skills and beekeeping whatever is way at a higher level. And hey, Alex, I think that all right, like the guy up at I was just talking about the
yeah, I agree with what Russell says here. Most people are buying her to graft off her, right? So they're going to graft off of her. Let's say you buy the breeder queen, and let's say it's Carniolan, and you bring her home, and you put her in a colony. She starts laying. You start grafting. Now her daughters that go out. I guess that's the F2, right? Or is that the F1?
Now there you go. Now there's Jose. He could enlighten us all about.
Well, yeah, but I understand I understand that that's your whole business model is breeding queens, but you don't. What you're doing is you are reselling their daughters. You're not selling. Sorry, lightning. Not selling. You're selling her daughters. And then if you're selling let's say a virgin, right? Well, that virgin is getting mated with your stock, so she's no longer pure line queen anymore.
True.
So because unless you're artificially inseminating, you don't know what drones are getting her, right? So then she's no longer purebred, right?
Hey,
So
Doug.
that's kind of the I don't know if I'm making myself clear at all. I mean, some people are probably understanding it because Tim got it right away. I'm not spending $1,200, but we're not mating queens like that either. So
$1,500 for a queen. She better be laying 10 frames a day, Bubba, kind of thing.
She's probably not laying any there. They're pulling just about everything every day they're pulling a frame.
The drones will be 100%.
Hey, Doug, are you out and about in the honey field or?
Yeah, I'm outside of the honey house. Never used the phone on this before. Are you getting it from me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
Can you see the honey house?
Yeah, I can see your face, but I can't see the honey house.
We can see you, Doug. Pull the camera
There's
further
a
away.
honeybee. There's a honey house. Give us a tour of the honey house, if you can.
I think I'll lose you in there. I'm real poor cell coverage here, Charlie.
Okay.
But
let me see if I can.
I don't know whether you can see that.
Yeah, it's a little blurry, but
that's good.
I see in the back room. It looks like you got your Cowan 60 frame extractor back here.
Yeah. Yeah. We've done our first extraction and just nicely starting.
And then what's the tank in the corner there? Is that a storage tank up on the rack or
the big yellow one?
Yeah, turn your phone around. Let me see I think it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's yellow.
Yeah, that's our settling tank. From the Cowan, we pump into that, and it'll hold 12 barrels. And then from that, you can probably see the smaller Maxent bottling tank, and we can fill it from there too.
So, since the big tank is a settling tank, is that where you pump all your honey into that and then let the wax rise to the top and skim it off, or do you filter or you run it through a? Okay, you don't have do you have a wax separator?
Yeah, if you, I don't know whether you can see on the Cowan, there's a wax press.
Yeah, I see the Cowan there.
Everything.
It looks like the arm sticking up there that pushes the frames into the extractor. And then off to the right is the queen uncapper.
Yeah. That big settling tank, we'll clean it out at the end of the year. There'll be about 6 inches of wax floating on top of it.
Really? Okay.
But from that, we'll fill the barrels from the bottom of that, and it's just clean to me then.
Somebody said try to tilt the phone sideways and see if that'll make a bigger picture. I'm not sure if that will or not. Would you have a Hummerbee behind you there? You got a boat.
I've lost.
We lost him.
How's it going, Todd?
It's hot. It's hot as fire, as you like to say.
It is hot as fire outside.
It's supposed to get worse tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 109. But the humidity is only 20%, so it's not that bad.
You suck.
What was our humidity a second ago?
Our heat index at 8 o'clock right now, because the humidity is still like 102 right here. I don't know.
I'm not doing any bee work this weekend. It's just gonna be too hot.
Yes, sir.
0. I'm not doing anything.
We're still under a heat advisory right
I think
now.
we are too. It's
Yep.
just too much.
Well,
You mean
we
you're
were
not going to go out in the
over-
desert and go hiking?
Like that guy in where was it?
Death Valley.
Death Valley. Yeah. Well, they call it Death Valley for a reason. In the summer.
Things can't live there.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to go walking in Death Valley in the summertime. Unless it's midnight. Even then, it's probably hot.
And then the rattlesnakes to get a hold of you.
Yeah. Yeah. One way or another, you might not make it out of there.
Night work.
Jose says night work, bro. I'm like, no, I'm not. No.
Hey, they would tear your tail up at night.
Lord, yes.
Ask us how we know.
I did that with him one time, and after about the 9th sting in 2 minutes flat, I was like, "Look, you can have it. I'm done with nighttime beekeeping."
Oh man.
Hey, Jose, did you get your package?
I'll just text you the digital key.
Well, that was quick. You went from outside to inside.
Yeah, we lost you there, Doug.
Yeah, got real poor reception where I am here, Charlie. So I'll try to get you one of the yards one of these days when you're on there.
Okay.
I have better coverage over where some of them are.
Rub our noses.
Yeah.
But this is, thought you'd like a chat from Merrifield, Saskatchewan.
You have a lot of smoke up there, Doug?
A little bit, not too bad.
Yeah.
Now, Mitchell here, he's up in Vermont. How bad I mean, I know I watched the stuff on the news there where they have terrible flooding. Or are you close to all that or right in the middle of it?
It was
Wondering about
65 during the day? Or is it
Yeah.
65 right now?
Wow.
If it's 65 during the day. At night, your bees are clustering, probably.
Yeah.
That's
Darren
right.
says it's
Casper.
70 up there in PA, and it's 76 right now, but it was in the 80s today, low 80s. So,
Hey, Bob,
Yes, sir.
go on to Amazon and search this.
Uh-oh.
No drip Honeygate.
$1,000.
No.
Honeygate.
Or if that doesn't work, then do no drip honey or no drip bottling valve. And scroll down a little and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh, the stainless ones. That's a great price on those.
The two pieces?
$72.99.
Oh, excuse me.
Heck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
only
For
two
two.
left in stock.
Oh, mine
There's only
says
two.
4.
Maybe it's just my warehouse close to me.
But that's true. But aren't they regularly like $160 for one?
Yeah, the first one there's $72.99 for a
Oh.
2-pack. That looks like it's smaller though.
Mine says $129 for a two pack.
Oh wait, this says 1-pack right there. It's got 2 in the picture, but 1-pack. Is it 1 pack of 2? I don't know.
No, it says 2 pieces: beverage dispensers, bottling valve, no drip Honeygate.
$72.99.
Okay, here's the brand name. It's BEE XTM, all capitalized. Type that in; it'll probably pop right up to what I'm looking at.
BEEXTM.
Yeah, all uppercase. I don't know if that
Well,
makes
maybe if I
a
had
difference
two
on
E's and
Amazon.
not 3. Let's see. Of course, they got 9,000 items in their store. I like those gloves. It's like mechanic
Scroll
gloves.
down a little.
I've got this.
Uh,
I don't want to look at the price because it's going to be way cheaper than what I paid for it, and it'll piss me off. Yep. Oh. Twist the knife.
well, I don't know why it doesn't pop up with that, but I'm looking at two of them right now. It's 2-piece beverage dispensers, bottling valve, no drip honey gate valve for extractor, honey bottling stainless steel faucet. And it's got the long handle and everything.
I paid $1,400 for this exact same thing at Hive Life conference.
Ouch.
$7.59 on Amazon.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Yep. Damn Chinese. They got me.
Do one more search and then we'll stop this nonsense.
All right.
Do a no drip honey valve.
No drip honey valve.
There they are.
129.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 2 pieces. 2 of them.
That's a good price. $65 a piece.
When they're, I think Dayton has them for $160 each.
Everybody's got them for like $200. Now,
Is it the same thing as
is it
Maxan?
the
Or
same size? That's the question, right?
Yeah, that's what
This
I
is
was
a
just
1-inch valve.
Oh,
Let's see what
2-inch.
Data has them.
I think they're 2-inch.
Data shop. Would that be honey selling? Do they have a search?
Let me go get my catalog. I know what
Excuse me.
page it's on.
Honey processing, I bet. Uncapping equipment. One-inch bottling, 169.
Oh, it is 1-inch. Well, okay.
So
I
you
might
just
be going in that direction. Interesting. I bet it's the same one too.
oh yeah, I'm sure.
I
Or
guarantee it.
This one actually, yeah, it's probably the same one. Basically, mine is this, only without the handle. Mine just runs on air pressure, which pops this spring up.
Yeah. I saw that last week and I thought, that's pretty interesting. That's half the price for 2. Or more than half.
Yeah, have you a spare?
Yeah.
Let me ask this,
great
Bob.
price.
That air compressor deal you talking about you got,
Yep.
do you have to worry about moisture getting in anyway?
I haven't had any issue with it. You figure if moisture could get in it, that it would leak out too, right? It would drip.
Well, you know
I
how
think-
some people forget to drain. You just say you forget, you run your air compressor. Like us, we run an air compressor all the time.
Right.
And if you don't drain that compressor, you're going to get moisture in it for too long. And that moisture will push through your air lines into like
Right.
a pneumatic bell or something along those lines.
Well, I guess it could then. Thanks for ruining my night, Tim. No, I'm just kidding.
You're welcome, brother.
yeah, but you got to remember that moisture is going into a piston. That the pistons connect to the valve, I presume. So it shouldn't,
Okay.
Let's see what we got.
Well, I guess I could only hope that when it hits the foot pedal, we got
need-
people that come.
Tom, you got
Hey everyone.
turn the other one off.
The only thing I can hope is that the foot pedal's on the ground and that's where the air goes in.
Look it again, Matt. Tom.
Is that the air stays down low because
Abort.
Go into your YouTube and turn the
Mute it.
volume, turn it, mute it. Got
But
it?
it could. I guess technically it could.
No, still ain't got it.
Now nobody wants to say anything.
I,
Tom, have you turned yours down?
the luckiest.
What's that?
You gotta
When you
mute
came
the
on,
YouTube.
you need to mute your YouTube feed.
Just right click
I'm
the
unmuted.
top that says
There.
YouTube.
You gotta.
Maybe my speaker's unplugged.
We're getting a bad echo.
He didn't understand you.
Hey, let me check my settings.
Well, I didn't hear a feedback on him
Yeah, I
talking.
think you fixed it. Yeah, it's okay.
Well, he's muted now.
Oh, well.
Just go to the top where you see the YouTube tab, right click it, and then you'll see where it says mute site. And then you should be good.
That better?
I think
He
so.
wants to say something. Yeah, I think
1,
it
2,
is.
3. Yeah, you're good now.
3 here. Yeah. Right
Well,
again.
Jose, we got to figure out where it's going to be at and who's going to go and all that stuff.
Cayman hasn't put it out yet, has he?
Not that I know of.
I'll go, Jose. We could drive wherever it's at. Just come pick me up. Swing down here and get me.
How far is he away from you, Todd?
4 hours, 5 hours, maybe.
Somebody's feedback in here.
Cayman told me it's in California.
I don't think so.
I wish.
I think it's.
I know where it's supposed to be, but I can't give it up. So
I bet you that it's in a state that starts with the letter T.
no,
Oh,
No,
wow.
you would be incorrect.
Oh, okay.
I would say
If,
more like.
well, maybe not.
Can I have
what I
49
heard
more
is true,
guesses?
it's not going to be.
Is that better, Charlie?
I don't know.
Nope.
No,
No,
No.
you got your StreamYard and then you got your, what is it, YouTube?
YouTube.
Mute to YouTube.
Go to YouTube, scroll, get your cursor on the picture on the screen, and then you'll see the volume control button. You just tap it.
YouTube's muted.
Just turn YouTube off. Close the tab.
Yeah.
Try that.
Any better?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Echo. Let me reboot my computer and try again.
Hello.
All right. See ya.
That was weird.
I don't know,
Well,
Todd.
can I get 49 more guesses, Bob?
You can call me. I can just tell you. I just can't officially put it out there.
Well,
Well, I was kind of hoping maybe since he loved the Gulf Shore so much, he'd bring it on down this way.
Yeah, it's actually further away from me and Charlie. So is he going to announce it on the stream team chat? That would be about right.
Yeah, that'd be about right. I guess they're hooking up with
Boy,
them, maybe.
I'll tell you what, I got a kick out of reading the comments on that Hive Life conference Facebook page.
Oh yeah, they're shredding that dude.
Oh man. Well, that and everybody was going after each other too. Some people are on one side of the fence, some people are on the other, and they're throwing rocks at each other. You know.
And the
Right.
thing of it is, I don't think the hardcore clear facts, I'll say, are all on the table yet to begin with.
No, I don't think
Shouldn't
Cayman
be.
put out anything as far as his side of the story, so to speak. You know, just he took the high road, which I can appreciate. However,
Yeah.
I could also appreciate if they didn't say, well, I guess they kind of had to let something out, but they just, you know, this.
It's too bad it couldn't have been settled behind closed doors.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that would be the best option for everything.
Hey, just let the men handle their business. If you want to go, buy you a ticket, get after it.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. I think it really boils down to the fact that when you get to that level of business, that the size of that thing, it, if you don't have experience in that kind of a thing and that at that level, it's sometimes it's,
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you look at something like last weekend, the North Carolina Beekeepers Association meeting, right? They had a few hundred people. That's awesome. However, Hive Life had a few thousand people. So it's like 10 times the size of the local beekeeping conference, right? So it's a little bit different situation, different feel.
mm-hmm. Well, management and how to staff. And I think that's something Cayman has to learn, is that he's got to delegate and have a staffing. If if it's going to get bigger and bigger, they make companies out there that you hire for management, ticket takers and all this other kind of stuff. Hey, there's
Brian.
Brian. He's up here next to my house, up in New Jersey.
He's up near Galloway Lights, probably.
Yeah, I guess he is.
Guys, I've got a bad thunderstorm going on right now, so I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hang out. I don't want to zap my expensive computer.
You don't have a
surge protector?
Yeah.
Only the strip surge protector. I don't have like a legit $300 one.
I got a battery backup and all that kind of stuff here. They don't work. I don't
jump on with your new phone, Bob.
Do what?
Jump on with your new telephone.
This thing. There's Tom. He's back again.
All right. Any better?
1, 2, 3. Yep. Sound like
Hey,
3, 4, 5, 6.
Good job.
What did you find wrong? Just the computer itself?
Yeah, I rebooted it and I guess it's working now.
Okay.
What kind of work do you do in the civilian world? The regular day job?
I am an electrical engineer and I do software programming for big time stuff. Like I do satellite communication programming, rockets programming for the shooting off rockets, NASA. Then support for all of America, South America, North America. Very technical support. So yeah, I'm a geek.
You got a high paying job.
Yes.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. I never thought what I'm doing now is what I'd be doing when I started 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Something like that.
They had electricity then?
Yeah. Well, I got electricity all over my 3 acres.
Engineer before they had electrical.
There you go. Well, back in 1985, 86, I actually built a desktop computer way before anybody else did. And I wasn't smart enough to mass produce them.
They used to have those Heath kits back then.
It was an oh gosh, an 86 chip. I think it had 12K memory, something like that, the hard drive. Crazy.
So anything going with you, Todd, as far as your bees go?
There's that echo again. No, I put strips on last week, and I'm just going to let them ride for, I think, well, I'll give them a test, probably another test in about 4 weeks, and then I'll leave them on for another 4 weeks after that and pull them off. Well, not quite that long. I'll leave them on for about 65 days, so 2 months. But other than that, everything's done.
Sorry to hear about that, Brian.
Oh, that's too bad.
Adult beverages.
But yeah, it's it's quiet over here.
Right. I don't know. I've been trying to figure out. I'm on the fence of whether or not to put the apron guard in. It's it's 80 some degrees right now. The humidity has been high, but now it's seeding here recently. It's starting to come down.
You could do it at that temperature and do 4 rounds of 25 about 7 days apart.
Yeah,
7 to 10 days apart. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it gets up in the high 80s with humidity, then you're over 90 heat index. So maybe you might want to wait till it gets around 80 or low 80s at least.
I had a friend of mine that I spoke to said he treated with Formic Pro when it was hotter than fire outside.
Oh, geez.
And he said his bees did fine. He had one abscond out of the one colony, but the rest of them came through fine.
That's when I use it. That's typically what happens to me. Is I'll have 1 or 2 that will fly the coop, and then the rest are fine.
But that's still like 10% of their colonies, right? So they got like 10 or 11 colonies. So it's
Well, I've done it. I did it 2 years ago when it kind of was too warm. And I had every single bee that I owned out on front of the box. Everybody was on their boxes there. I don't think there was a bee inside besides the queen, but yeah, it'll run them out, but they'll most of the time they'll stay there.
all right. I got a question for you guys. Bearding. What is it? Why are they doing it? I want to hear y'all's philosophy on it, and then I'm going to tell you what my philosophy is.
They're hot.
They know exactly they know how much heat they produce. So they know exactly how many bees have to leave the hive. And so whatever number that is, that's how many are out there. And then when it cools down, they start piling in.
I think it's because of the dearth. It's foragers that have nothing to do. Because I noticed when I put out my open food, there was no bearding on the front of the colonies. When there's no feed out.
I can hear that echo again.
Yeah, Mac. Something's wrong. Yep, there we go.
But it's probably
Nancy says it has lots of brood.
that is correct as well. The last colonies I went
they
in,
don't want to heat it.
They
don't want to overheat it. Yeah.
I think they're just regulating the heat in the hive and stuff like that.
I'm gonna need you to be more.
I got some out. I watched some of my own hives, and some of them who are really populated, there's a lot of bees hanging out. Some of them that are not so much populated, you don't see anybody.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. Why do bees beard at night then, Bob?
Same thing.
That's true. Same thing.
It said that, you can't get too hot in there. You're going to kill the brood.
Sunbathing and getting tans, Jose says.
Yeah, that too.
Little bikinis.
How do you spell that?
Beekini. Bikini.
Gotcha.
And I just made that up on the spot. We'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, where's the drums?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I had for dessert tonight. It's my new favorite. So I chopped up a bunch of white peaches, put them in a bowl, drizzled some of my honey all over the peaches. Then I put just a little huge, that's a huge tablespoon or teaspoon, whatever, of Cool Whip. I put like 3 big old blops of it on there. And then I drizzled honey over that. Oh, man.
It was good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially if that Cool Whip is cold, like frozen, the honey hardens up a little bit and it's like candy. I might just have a bowl of that next time.
Almost like caramel, however you want to pronounce it, wherever you're from.
Yep. Good stuff.
Are they in your yard, them trees, Todd? Your peach trees?
Oh, no. They're at the farm where the bees are at. Yeah, I don't have peach trees here.
We got a couple. Reason I ask is we got a regular, just I guess, Chilton County, what we call them. We grew. I think they're up Chilton County out in Georgia. But a gentleman give us some saplings of the white peaches, and I've got one on one end of the house and the other one on the end of the other end. In the last couple of years, man, they'll put off some beautiful blooms, like they just gonna get it. But they won't produce no peaches for me. And I hit them with the fertilizer and all that, but they will not produce.
How old are they?
5 now.
Oh, they're lacking something, obviously. I don't know. I would have said that if they were young.
I had a little peach tree that I put in the ground, but they were pygmy peaches. And I bought those citrus spikes that you can buy at the store and spike it down in the soil near the roots. And that seemed to help them out a lot. They fruited almost immediately. Not a lot because it was a small tree, obviously, but they were fruiting.
Well, I don't know, Tim. Maybe go down to a local nursery and ask them if find out if they have peach trees there, and then ask them what they think the problem is. It's nutrients, something that's not in the ground for them to produce fruit.
All right.
It might be something like nitrogen too. If they have nitrogen in the soil, that might be it. I don't know.
I was at Tractor Supply today picking up some dog food, and they had a bunch of apple trees out there. I should call them apple sticks because they're like all the dried up ones that are sitting there. I wonder if those things would be any good for like next year. Because I've seen trees that like would look dead like that, but then you put them in the ground and a little while, a couple years later, all of a sudden they decide they're going to start growing again. But I'm not that much of a grower or a horticulturist to know if that's the thing or not. Oh, and speaking of Tractor Supply, if you haven't registered, they're having their farmers market days and it's free to go set up, but you got to register on their website at Tractor Supply.
Direct Cut wants to know what everybody does with their wax. I just try to sell it to candle makers and
I just
lip
melt
balm
it down and
makers
roll
and
it on
stuff like
frames
that.
right now.
Yeah, I roll my frames.
Steve, I'm about an hour and a half away from Hagerstown.
Yeah. Well, don't everybody talk at once.
Mm.
It's only a live stream. Don't worry about it.
So, Steve, are you coming to Hagerstown to buy frames and stuff? Mm.
You getting rain this weekend, Charlie?
We had some about 3 o'clock this morning. I don't think we got the brunt of the main storm. And then it's supposed to be nice. It was nice the rest of the afternoon. It was kind of cloudy, and supposed to be nice tomorrow, which is Saturday and Sunday. And then Monday's sort of iffy, and then Tuesday back into some pretty good chances of rain, stuff like that. I was somebody see who was it? It was a guy in the middle here, and he was talking about the rain and stuff. And we had a big stretch there with no rain and everything, but he was saying it seems like as soon as the smoke from Canada start kicking in, that we started to get a lot of rain regularly and all. And I was wondering whether that actually had any truth behind it, where it, it made it rain more.
It hadn't rained here since early May, I think.
Yeah. Honeybee, I don't compound. I don't know. You, as far as I know, you're not timed out.
Yeah, I see his comment.
What is it? Yeah.
I have no clue, Dan. I didn't know they had a dirt track racing. And all that kind of stuff. So, around here we got the fairs and stuff starting next weekend. The local county fair is starting. We're supposed to be set up over there with the club. So
Nice and warm.
Eugene got 11, almost 12 inches in 12 hours. Jeez.
Wow.
Mayfield, Kentucky. Where's Mayfield, Kentucky at?
I saw Larry Moore.
I don't know if you guys saw my latest video, but I went into the cold box.
Oh, I saw
What's
that one. Yeah. I was about to say, Larry Moore put out his first honey harvest video the other day. So, I saw you went in the cold.
Oh, I didn't see that. I need to go back and look. Yeah. I had to cool off. It was hot. That's a nice room to be in when it's 100 degrees outside. That thing's been filled up 3 times now. So a lot of fruit.
Jose's got a question here. You're buying merch for your Etsy store.
Hats.
I go with hats and t-shirts.
You know what'd be cool? You know those fishing shirts, the real thin ones, the long sleeve ones? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I have
Those would
one.
be cool. Be merch, yeah, because I like to wear long sleeves in the yard just for the sun purposes, right? Not to get sunburnt while you're out there all day. And they're lightweight, so there would be lightweight underneath your bee suit as well.
Yeah, that's why I have one, and I bought it for fishing down Destin. Works perfect.
That's what I'm going to ask. Are they actually cool, I guess? Or help keep you cooler?
Yeah, I think they let your sweat out better. I don't know. Where it's not like if I wear my Carhartt or something long sleeve shirt, when you sweat in it just feels like you have 50 pounds of shirt on top of that, where this it breathes a little bit, I think.
And I'm just thinking this time of the year, just working outside, I have to take at least a minimum of one shirt to change into on the way home. But sometimes, I mean, Hannah, she'll have me, a couple of them packed for the day so I can change around lunchtime, then change into another one on the way home so you can be a little bit dry.
Yeah, I need to invest in some headbands.
Headbands, yeah. California beekeeper headbands.
Yeah.
Steve there, he's going to get 50 shallows. You're actually buying shallows in 450 frames.
For that price, I would buy 50 shallows with 450 frames. $800.
So where are you getting that up at Hagerstown? Is that a bee business or a private individual?
I used to wear they're UV protective, those shirts. Yeah, I used to wear them when I'd go out on a fishing boat all the time.
What are they called? What type of shirt are they?
I'm not sure what they're called.
Long sleeve shirt, a lot of fishermen wear.
So
they don't get sunburned.
UV protectant.
They're called this.
Dry fit shirts. Yeah, kind of. They're moisture wicking shirts. Something like this. Let's see.
Yeah, direct cut. I wash mine occasionally.
Something like this, Charlie. Whoop, not the discount, but something like that.
Yeah.
And they're real thin. So they wick
dry
the moisture.
fit.
Yeah, it's a dry fit type of shirt.
Okay.
Something like that.
You say a dry fit. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, they call it dry fit because it wicks the moisture off your skin so the sweat evaporates quickly, and it protects you from the sun.
Oh, it was on Facebook Marketplace. Bob must have missed that one.
Well, it's in Pennsylvania. There's plenty of stuff in Minnesota for sale, but I'm not driving there to get it.
Well, last weekend I picked up 7 Caucasian virgin queens.
Caucasian
cells,
virgin?
I should say. So I'm getting a whole variety in my yard this year.
I did that last year, and I ended up hating it, the fact that I did it. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. Mine was all my bees were like different stages, and half of them were carniolan, half of them were Italian. So I would have like really strong Italians in the spring, and then I'd be looking at my carniolans thinking something was wrong with them, and they just hadn't started going to town yet.
I'm going to have Martha Carpenter's, Caucasians, Buckfast, and another one. I forget. All the Mite ones.
Hey, Brian, there's a cow and Silver Queen uncapper in Whitewater, Colorado for $1,650, like mine with the handle. Since y'all started talking about gear, y'all just put me down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, depends on whether or not you got a big honey house or how much processing and everything.
Yeah, I plan to make my honey house a little bit bigger this winter.
Yeah, get that 30 frame license in there, right?
More room for that and for a decapper.
Yeah, the amount of hives you got what is it? 20 honey hives, 25 honey hives?
I got
Production
27.
Huh?
27.
27 production hives.
Yep.
Yeah, when you got that
Right
many.
now I have 39 hives altogether, but 27 for production.
You ought to be pulling in what, a couple thousand pounds?
Yeah, this year was only 1,000 because I had all plastic foundation that I had to build. So I think I lost half of it to that.
Right.
So next year I hope to get, yeah, something like that. See how the spring goes.
Well, what's your average honey production in your what, in Ohio or Michigan, right?
I'm in Ohio,
Ohio.
Southwest.
About 50 or 80 pounds a hive.
Yeah, should be. There's a lot of beekeepers in my area. A lot. A lot of it's my fault because I sell all these nukes.
Mhm. Well, I don't know. I had added a lot of super or foundation stuff to mine, and I also did a lot of 9 frame, which I was trying to get them to draw that out. Some of them did on some of the frames, and some of them didn't do. And when I had some, it was like a perfect frame as far as being drawed out on both sides. But it was like if I had that in all 9 frames, I said, man, that would have been some great honey. But it seemed like
Right.
they just didn't want to draw out. So I think what I'll try to do is, I put the 10 frame in, let them fill, and then I pulled 1 frame out. And I think I'm just going to go ahead with 9 frames from the get go and see what happens. I know there's a lot of cross burr comb. Sometimes they do that and sometimes they don't. I think, well, you just have to take your knife or whatever and cut that, and everything works out
Right.
okay. All that
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
going with all 9 frame next year. This year I did half and half just because I needed comb. So I put 10 in just to get it combed out. Well, I got the bee inspector coming Tuesday morning. See how that goes.
Shouldn't be any problems, I don't think.
What do they
No,
typically do when they come out?
on almost all my hives right now, and they've been on for 2 weeks. So the mite should be in pretty good shape.
What do they
Main
usually
thing-
do when they come out? I don't have a bee inspector. We have a bee inspector, but I've never had the bee inspector at my yard. So
I get one about every other year. Shows up.
what do they
Blue
do?
guy. I don't know who this guy is.
Well, here, I mean, they'll come out and, well, like you say, they don't come. They're so short-handed. They don't come out unless you call them. But they'll call. They're looking for either American foul brood or maybe European foul brood. Some K-wing on the bees. I found out that some of the bees are like real shiny and black. Well, that's a shiny black virus disease, shiny black bees, they call them. And, different little things like that. Can you do anything about it? Not really. The only thing they're really looking at is the American foul brood. That's the major virus.
Right. I know the previous inspector, she just checked for mites and then for, like I said, diseases,
I don't know whether to check it.
deformed wings, stuff like that. And she only would check maybe 1 out of 7 hives, do a spot check. Last 2 years ago, she did 3 hives out of 15.
If Brian wants to know, do they just randomly call you up and schedule an appointment?
Yeah. Well, we have to, if we want to sell nukes and queens, we have to pay $5 per property or per apiary, and then they're supposed to come and inspect you, so you get a little certificate saying that you can sell nukes and queens. And last year they never even showed up, but I still got the certificate. And before that, a lady showed up. So
Yeah. See, they don't do any of that here. Well, first it's free. That's why I guess we don't have enough inspectors. And
yeah,
then,
so it cost me $10 a year.
yeah, that
two
sounds about like
properties.
Pennsylvania is kind of the same way too. But here they just call them if you need them. Sometimes they used to come and inspect when things were better, time as far as financials and stuff. And
Right.
hey,
Yeah,
Brad.
if you're only selling honey, that you don't have to register. But if you're selling bees, you do. You're supposed to.
Yeah, they don't have any of that. You know, I can sell honey, I can sell bees, queens. No problem. Now I know up in Pennsylvania, you got to be certified to sell queens and nukes and all that stuff, and then you're have to have a honey processing thing. For you just can't do it in your kitchen. I think the way they explained it. Hey, there's James. Hope you're feeling better, James.
Yeah. We don't have any of that in Ohio. It's just to sell bees. And they usually, well, the lady that came out, she was actually very helpful. Things that could change or things that I do, and we talk and stuff like that, just like another beekeeper.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is here. And all. But that's pretty much the main thing goal here is whether you have American foul brood. I called him up one time. I said, I think I had American foul brood, but actually it was European. And then there's parasitic mite syndrome and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And all that. And then this past year, she texted me and said she needed a person backed out, and they needed somebody else for this national honeybee survey. And I'm close to where she lives, so she came over and she took a bunch of samples out of my nukes and stuff like that, and sent them away. And it took months, and finally got the mite loads back and that kind of stuff, which was like super low for me. And then I just recently got the rest of the paperwork for virus loads and stuff like that. And personally, to be okay, there's James he's doing extracting has begun. 240 panels last night, 600 pounds tonight. Boy,
That's why you need to come on and show us your extraction process right now.
Yeah, what framework does he have? He has a small one too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got, I think, a 12 frame license.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's putting into work this year.
Yeah.
Has he got that uncapper humming? Forgot about that. I know the last time I heard he had the parts and stuff. I think James was saying that on a video or something. You ever getting parts made or something of that nature?
Charlie, you got to work tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah. I won't stay on too late tonight. You still got your storm running down there?
Yeah, I can hear the rain.
I'm going when I get up first thing in the morning, it's only supposed to be in the low 60s. I'm going to be checking three hives that I took the queen out this past Monday. Cut all the queen cells out, and then I'm adding 2 Russian mated queens and a buckfast queen into them.
Yeah,
So,
Alex has got a new yard to a strawberry patch, and he can drive right to it. That's the way I like it.
yeah.
He was worried about trying to find a new yard, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I watched his video over there this evening, and he had a dairy farmer, I'll say, in the area, and he was hemming and hawing about that as far as putting bees there on that farm. As far as the dairy farmer was sort of on the fence, I'll say, and so somebody else had this strawberry patch, and
I had a strawberry fight.
so anyway, that's where he's moving them to. That's because, he's saying he got the rain up there. I think that's because of all that smoke.
Hey, is Michael? I know I saw him on here up in Vermont there. There's a guy in Castleton selling a ton of equipment up in Castleton, Vermont. Used equipment. I don't know if they're getting out of the business or what, but they have everything.
Probably waterlogged.
Probably floating. You're getting a good price. You just got to fish it out of the river to get it.
We go downstream and get it.
Yeah. So, anyway. Well, guys, it's about 10 o'clock, and
It is already.
cut it short tonight, and so I can get out there and get whatever I need to get done tomorrow.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
So-
tomorrow's a bee day for me.
What's that, Tom?
Tomorrow's a bee day for me until it gets hot.
Yeah, there's Todd. He's back. Just
I'm having a bad internet night.
Yeah.
hey, Charlie, I'm doing
Yeah.
my first market tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about that.
That's cool.
That's why I'm sitting sort of quiet. I'm sitting here trying to price these cut combs. And
So what's your pricing so far on some of them?
most of them, it's right around $10. 10. This little tiny one here, can you see that?
Yeah.
Was less than 5, but then they said this one.
Well,
is
should you
over
be selling it
7.
by the weight, or should you be selling it by the size? I guess you would call it.
Well, this one is 11.10, so it'll all come out in the wash.
Okay.
About $10 each. We'll see. Hopefully it sells.
That's cool, Philip. That's something I've never done.
Yeah, it's my first time as well, so we'll see how it goes.
Working
Right.
full time, having 40 plus 30 to 40 hives. I need my weekends to work the bees.
Mm.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do when you get several hundred pounds? I don't have that much of word of mouth around here yet. So,
No, I got 4 places where I sell it.
Mm.
So I'll
Darn.
sell it all by the end of the year, by next year.
So what's happening, Darren? Made any decisions on a honey shed?
No, not yet. Let's see what my total take of honey is going to be. If I do anything, it'll be in the spring.
Michael wants to know, do you freeze your comb first for comb honey? I heard that way you kill all the bugs and whatever.
yes, I do.
Is that a 24-hour, 48-hour type of thing?
I try to go 48, maybe a
And
3.
that's it. Freeze it while it's in the comb.
Yeah, I freeze it before I ever cut it while it's in the frame.
Like everybody's starting to come in now.
Right when
Now,
you said,
Alex,
"We're getting
I got
ready
a
to get off
major-
of here," then everybody jumps in. Like, what the hell was y'all waiting on?
We got 73 people in the house now.
I want to.
I got a major question, Alex. I
What?
watched your video today.
Mhm.
Do I have to take and mail you and donate you a hive tool?
No, I prepared my car. I think I put some cinder blocks. Yes, I put some cinder blocks for to take to the apiary.
Apiary.
I took up my bag to make room,
And left it on the ground.
and yeah, exactly.
He
So you
was
need to
using
do what I
Hive
do.
tool in the tool bag.
Buy
he
the
was
cheap
using a
Hive
broken
tool.
what was it? A
I'm
chisel. It
gonna
looked like to me.
Yeah, I had a chisel in my car, so I used that.
All right, we got
Hey, Alex, on all when I go to my other property, I always have my hive tool because I leave it at that property. Actually, I put it above the inner cover and underneath the lid.
Okay.
So whenever I go there, I always have it.
I just
Well,
leave
that's
mine
what
right
I
on
do.
top of the colony. I mean, it's stainless. It's not going to rust.
Just leave it on top. I just throw it in there and put the lid on.
No, I can show you the strawberry patch if you want. It's pretty
Go
dark.
ahead.
I finished working like it was like almost 10 p.m. But
now. Is this a patch or a field?
it's a field. It's a commercial strawberry field. Present. Share screen. Select. Allow. If you can zoom in a bit. There you go.
That's strawberries. Looks like grass.
Yeah, well, you can't see them from that perspective. Sorry, but the strawberries are next. You see the embankment.
Yeah.
Like the field is right next to that embankment. It's pretty low to the ground. So, and that is when I was done.
Mm.
You put all your bees out there?
That's all my extra nukes. I made 17 extra nukes, and they all went there. Some of them were really strong. I have to go back on Sunday if there's enough. I can access this place really easy because it's in a sand like right next to a sand quarry. So there's good drainage. There's no mud there.
Is your hives on the ground or they got a rack underneath them?
Some of them had cinder blocks. The other half doesn't, because my tiny car can only
That's
fit.
right. I do see the cinder blocks now.
Yeah, my tiny car can only fit 16 cinder blocks in it before. It goes over the weight limit. The car can carry 1,000 pounds, and that's like 800.
Yeah, I think you need to get yourself some lumber or something.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like it's supposed to rain again tomorrow. God, I'm sick of the rain. But I gotta take care of equalizing and giving some of them some more room because they are full. And that's it.
Good.
Cool.
There you go. And it's so like the only thing is I have to go through the sand quarry. The strawberry field is in the back, but with like access is like you could see my car's headlights. It was right next to the hives. Compared to the other one where it rains a bit too much and it turns into a mud trap. Which is going to be fun because I have to go get some boxes over there. So I'll have to go on foot.
Well, this place, does it have a driveway to it or a road or what?
Yes, it's a road. It's a sand road, but it's a road. But since it's sand, the drainage is really, really good.
Right.
I would disagree with that statement with the sand I have in my yard.
Maybe it's the shape of the land too, because the road is a bit elevated since they're quarrying the sand away.
Maybe that's why the strawberries grow good there.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Huh?
It makes sense because that's how our soil is, and I've got strawberry fields around me as well.
So Darren, anything happening up in PA?
Not really. My bees are slowing down a little bit, giving me a little chance to finish the weeding around the house that I started back in May, and still trying to get that done and spreading mulch and stuff. So it's slowing down. I'm kind of happy about that. I pulled most of my honey because I got 5 more supers to pull, but they're not even capped yet. So I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to let those on my hives for a while longer, if I'm going to pull them off. I'm just hoping for like a good fall flow. I might get some decent honey this year. So, but that's about it. I tried doing some late season queens, and I don't know if Mark Miller's on or not, but I did some late season queens. Thought I'd try it, and then I only got like 3 takes out of 12 grafts, which is normal for me because I'm not good at grafting. But then the 3 of those that were capped, they didn't hatch. So I'm not sure what went on with that. So I don't know, not sure if I put them in those roller cages. So I don't know if they got cold or what happened. So I don't know. Anyway, that's what's going on with me.
Well, Darren, I do all my splits this time of year.
You what?
I do all my splits this time of year
Yeah, I know.
because I love the post summer solstice queens.
Right.
No,
I know a lot of people.
They don't swarm the next year. Typically don't.
That's kind of like where my thought was, but I tried it last year, and I did it with, I think I tried 3 splits last year, and I got 2 of the queens took and 1 didn't. So thought I'd try it again this year, and none of my queens actually even hatched. So I'm not even going to do it now, but
yeah. Last week I got 9 out of 12 virgins that came back, and I got 7 of them out there right now. They'll be flying this Sunday, Monday. So we'll see what those get. But usually I do see a drop this time of year. That's because there's so many birds and there's dragonflies now.
right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and another good thing is the strawberry field is only 7 kilometers away, so that's about 4.3 miles. So it's a 10-minute ride from the my first apiary. It's a very, very good location.
And that's how many apiaries you got now, Alex? 2?
2.
All right, well, at least you can expand and all.
Yeah, I don't want to take the first one beyond 15 hives, 15, 16, because my God, access is bad, but the place for making queen is amazing. So I'll keep it small and keep it for queen rearing, and I'll expand everywhere else.
Yeah. Now, Darren, you were saying, what was it? You grafted and they didn't cap the queen cells?
They did. Well, they only 3 of them got capped, but then out of the 3 of them, none of them hatched. So I don't know. I put them in those roller cages, and I don't know. They just weren't covered with a lot of bees. So I don't know if they, at this time of year, it's warm still. I don't know if
but now you put them in a roller cage and you put them in an incubator.
No, I kept them in my finisher. No, I didn't do the incubator. I don't know what happened with them.
So you kept them in there so they would hatch, and then you would move them around or whatever.
That was my plan. When they hatched, then I was going to do some splits and just, split them up, and hopefully they'd get mated, and didn't work out that way. So I don't know. Maybe I just went too late because up here in Pennsylvania, it is kind of late to be doing that up here. So
yeah, it's almost August. It's getting later.
Yeah.
Brad wants to know: did you look inside the cell to see where the stage they died at?
No, not yet. I want to do that. I got a plan for that. I think hopefully this weekend I can cut them open and see what happens.
You used a JZBZ cup, right?
Yeah.
Did you see any? Did you check the jelly?
I didn't cut them open. No.
No. On a JZBZ cup, you can look at that. It doesn't matter what color it is, but you can see that there'll be a color differential there where they have filled.
Yeah.
Like candlelight. I didn't do that. No. I see.
If you look at them, if it's sort of a smoky, they got the smoky color, and then they got blue and yellow and stuff like that. You can see the amount of jelly that's in that plastic rib right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to see
and
it.
all that'll give you a good indicator of like food and that kind of a thing.
I'm just wondering what all can go wrong. Like after they're capped, I mean, I always think like after they're capped, like they're good to go, but they're not. You know
Well, if when all
Obviously,
right,
they're-
they're capped, but when did you put them? How did you treat them, and when did you take them off of? Well, see now you grafted, right?
I
So
grafted.
you had them on a cell bar inside the thing,
Yeah.
and you took them off the cell bar on day 6.
I took them all. No. It was after. It was after that. They were fully capped when I put them in the.
I know that, but when the day you graft, it takes 6 days for that cell to cap. Now,
Right.
a lot of people will say that's 6, 7. That's day 9, but I don't count all those 3 days ahead of time. I count the day you graft. That's 1, and then 6 days later
They're
they
capped.
should be capped.
Right.
But when they're capped like that, you can't jostle them around.
Yeah.
And if you wait later than days, let's say it's 10 or 11, that's even more. They're very
Delicate,
tender, I'll say,
Yeah.
because you could have bumped her, and she would have fell down from the jelly, and then there's no way for her to get back up to the jelly, and she starved to death, or she just basically died inside the thing, and that was
Right.
the end of it.
I'm wondering if I did do something like that, but like all 3 of them, is that? What are the odds of that? Of all 3 of them, you know?
Well, depends on whether you shook that frame in all 3 of them.
Yeah, I didn't shake it, but I did at one point. It did fall. It did like fall over on my tailgate, so I guess that could have done it. But
That will do it.
so
I was like stupid several years ago where I took the darn frame. You know how you're in a habit of where you just kind of smack the frame to get the bees off of it. Well, I did that. It was like that one little thing just completely ruined the whole thing. Once I did it, I'm like, what did I do? And I killed the whole process.
yeah, that's frustrating too. Especially this time of year, because I can't start out. There's no do-overs now. It's too late. Like that was like my last chance. I thought if it don't work this time, because we're already into July, so if it doesn't work, then I'm waiting again. I'm waiting until next year to try it again. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's beekeeping. Always planning like the year before, Like Bob Binney said that, like he starts planning in August for the next year, and we all really do that because they're already thinking of like new ideas and things that I can do, and
Yeah, I've already made my list of winter supplies that I need for my hives.
Well, here's Brad. Brad said, he had 45 cells. Not one of them was any good. Doesn't know what happened.
Aaron, I had one this year where I went into my hive and they made this queen cell, and I just was watching it. I watched them cap it, so I knew what day it got capped. So I knew which day the queen should emerge. Day passed by, and about 3 days later, day passed by, and I go, So I got it. I opened it up. There was no larvae, no nothing in it. They just decided to make a queen cell, cap it, and everything. So you just never know what they do.
Yeah, we don't know. It is frustrating though.
Yeah, it's have you got like a queen chart or anything like that to go by? Have you ever? I got one that there was that one that's at Pennsylvania up in Montgomery County that you can go to there and download it, and it'll tell you on this day it's this, and on this day don't move them, between these certain days, and all that kind of stuff. So that'll kind of give you an idea of how of course you treat the darn. It's like when day 6 when they're capped, I'll be going from my apiary to the house where the incubator is, and I'll have that frame in my hand to not let it jostle around while I'm driving, and be real gentle while I'm driving to begin with for any rough roads or whatever where I'm at. And, I'm just going around the building, but there's stuff, in a way where it might jostle the truck, and then I walk it in and put it in the incubator.
Well, when you get that in the incubator, then like, how do you monitor that for like the hatching? Like when they hatch, like don't they have to be fed like at a certain time and like or
Well, it depends on what you're going to do. On day 6, you take them out of the cell builder, you put them in your incubator. Then it's going to be, they'll stay in there for another 5 days. And that gives me about a day and a half to 2 days to get that cell out of the incubator and put into a mating box. Or you can let that cell hatch in the incubator. That's where if you got that plan in there, then you're going to take those JZBZs off that cell bar, and then you're going to put them in a cage. And I've got those little test tube carriers that you can put JZBZ hair roller cages in there and hold them up, and just put the the cup in there.
Well,
And then you should know within a day or so, about what time they're going to be hatching. So you'll check them in the morning, check them in, if you're around the house at noon, you check them at noon, and check them in the evening.
Right.
And then they'll be hatched. And then the main thing is once they hatch, they'll want to go back up there and eat that jelly. Well, I'll tear that cell off of that JZB cup, because they'll get caught in there. And they'll die. They can't figure out how to back up and all that. So and then I don't know, I've tried some people put a droplet of honey down there and that cap on the bottom and one of them little wells.
That's what I do.
You put any water in there, a droplet of water in there too, or just honey?
No, because I'm the way I did it this year is I put the honey there in case she hatched out and I wasn't around, right?
Right.
But because I used the spreadsheet, I knew when to expect them to be hatching out, so I was checking them quite often. And then as soon as they hatched, I was taking them out, marking them, putting them back in the cage, and then putting them out in the yard, right, into a colony.
Right, that's what I did this year. And Darren, I got a video of one emerging out of the cell. I actually took it out and laid it on the desk. Little 1-minute video.
I saw that.
Maybe.
I saw that video.
So yeah, she got marked. She's in a hive now. So that's one of the ones that's going to be flying this Sunday or Monday. So.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna hop off for this evening.
Yeah, so am I.
All right.
Appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the next stream. Thanks, Charlie, for having a great stream tonight.
No
Yeah,
problem.
popping in.
See y'all later.
See everybody.
Thing here, I wanted to show Darren. Let's see. Here we go. All right, Darren. It's like I just printed out the Queen Ring calendar, and all right, today's grafting day. Let's just say we grafted today, and if we grafted, let's supposedly we grafted today, Wednesday would have been day 6, and the queen cells are capped. Now, the next 1, 2, 3, you get the day they're capped, you can move them to your incubator. The next 3 days after that, they're in the sensitivity mode. If you graft it on a Friday, the following Sunday would be the day that you want to move the cells into a mating nukes. And then they're saying they're going to hatch on the following Wednesday. I would say you probably would move them on a Monday. That gives you about 2 days before they hatch. And then after that, they should be hatched. But if you move them around, and jostle them too much, you're gonna dislodge them from that jelly. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I might have done that.
So, but that's what I can say about all that. Well, it's getting close to 10:30 here, and a lot of folks are dropping out. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the broadcast down for another week, and we'll see you next Friday.
All right.
You know,
See you next
take it easy.
time.
Yep.
Mate.